Hi, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week. This week, we're looking back at some of our favorite stories from 2022. This spring, Louisiana farmers planted one of the most expensive crops ever, regardless of the crop they planted. TWILA's Karl Wiggers visited a farm in Lake Providence as planters were heading into the field to show us all the factors that go into the difficult decisions around what crops to plant.
Ahead of this spring, a lot of farmers like Philip Tomlinson have been really crunching numbers. Over the past few months, that's been even tougher with such volatility in the markets and the increased price of inputs.
The challenge for us is that it's going to cost close to $100 an acre more to grow a soybean crop this year than it did last year. When you look at the real world economics of that, that's, $13 soybeans, $100 an acre to grow the crop. That's what, 6-7 bushels to an acre more that we need the crop to produce to make money this year.
According to Tomlinson's retailer, Hall Schneider, that increase is coming from fertilizer and herbicides.
We've seen fertilizer prices go from 200 to 300% higher across, the different fertilizers that we use. We've seen chemicals go up, some 3 to 4 times higher than we used last year. It makes it tough to make a decision on what you're going to plant.
For Tomlinson, the decision is made. He is not planting any corn this year. While he's feeling the strain on his farm, Tomlinson knows that he is not alone.
It's no different for me than it is for you or anybody else. I mean, we're all at the mercy of everything that's happened for the last 2 years. The average consumer is paying more at the gas pump, they're paying more at the grocery store, they're paying more at the doctor's office because of inflation and all these other factors. And it's the same way in agriculture and on the farm.
Across the board, prices were up this year, from fertilizer to herbicides and the diesel in the tractors and motors pumping water to irrigate. Farmers all over the state have felt the pinch of razor-thin margins. And Avery, Philip, the story on his farm is very true, of other stories we've shared on the show, specifically the Mississippi River being low. He can't move the beans he has in his bins, and those beans are damaged. So he was hit by the same rains that hit a lot of the farmers up the Mississippi Delta, Louisiana Delta, with all of his soybeans. He had 100%. That's the decision he ended up with.
He was 100% all in on soybeans.
Right.
And then there's still some issues coming up for this planting season because of the low Mississippi River.
Yeah, the low river that he can't move his beans out on also can't bring in input costs. So the same story that we're showing here from this past year is going to be the story again this coming year, it looks like, because they can't get inputs. So they're trying to figure out what their best option is for crops based on the inputs they have, in the state, in warehouses, and storage bins and tanks around the state. So it's going to be a difficult year ahead, it looks like, for farmers, and I just really hate to hear that, but
Well, always optimistic. Always optimistic, Karl. We'll hope for a better 2023.
Better 2023, please, Lord. Thank you.
Thank you, Karl Wiggers. This year, we were introduced to a new part of the rural landscape in Louisiana, at least new to us. College rodeo is a really big deal across the country, but Louisiana has only one team, and that's at McNeese State University. The newest member of the TWILA team, Breann Hendricks, a former college rodeo athlete herself, took us to Lake Charles to introduce us to the team as they prepared to head to the National Intercollegiate Rodeo in June.
In this arena, balance is everything.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
That is a saying you will hear often from McNeese State University rodeo coach Justin Browning.
Really, rodeo is just the setting. My passion is to help people grow and be better, and I'm connected to them. I'm not really connected to the sport. That's what brings me to it. Cameron, she's mentally strong. She's so strong. It's pretty cool to watch that. But she's ready. She was in the top 5 last year at the finals, and I mean, I know she can win it. I know she can. So I'm excited.
The team puts countless hours and time into me and my practices and to who I am even outside of rodeo as a person. And my teammates, they push me and they believe in me, and that's just something so awesome that I know every morning when I wake up, like I'm excited to get up out of the bed because I know that I'm going to be one step closer to getting better and one step closer to reaching my goal, which is to win the college finals.
Duncan is not the only person from McNeese going to the college finals. The men's team also qualified. As a college rodeo rookie, Shea Fournier is following in his father's footsteps at McNeese. But now he is ready to create his own.
I want to rodeo for a living. I mean, it's what I love to do. It's a lifestyle like no other. I just push towards that goal, and I want to be the best that I can be, and I want to chase that feeling and live that feeling.
Senior Ryder Sanford is making his last trip to the college finals. This year, his confidence is not just in himself, but also his team.
There's not a doubt in any of these guys' minds that they're going to go up there and be champions. You know, they've done the work. There's nothing stopping them. You know, they have the confidence and they got the work behind it.
From the men's team becoming reserve national champions to individual wins, this rodeo team did not come home empty-handed. Shea Fournier came home the saddle bronc riding champion, and Gavin swallowed the reserve champion steer wrestling title. Other teammates did compete and never placed lower than the top 20. For women's team, Cameron Duncan tied for the national title in goat tying. This helped the McNeese women's team finish 11th in the nation. Congratulations to these cowboys and cowgirls. And if you would like to follow this team into the 2023 rodeo season, you can find more on our website. In Avery, they already started the 2023 season. Women's are top 3rd and men's are top 4th.
So why aren't you out there with them? I figured you would be riding along every chance you got.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, thank you so much, Breann Hendricks. Almost 80 years ago, Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, liberating Europe and defeating Nazi Germany. This summer, for the 77th anniversary of D-Day, TWILA's Neil Melancon went to Camp Claiborne and showed us the unique Louisiana connection to this important piece of both world history and agriculture.
June 6 is the 78th anniversary of D-Day, when soldiers landed on the shores of Normandy. The night before, paratroopers from the 101st Airborne parachuted in to help pave the way for the landing. Before they got to Nazi Germany, however, they first came here.
This is historic Camp Claiborne near Forest Hill, Louisiana, where once 50,000 soldiers lived with their civilian counterparts and support staff. It may be hard to believe, but right back over there was the bus station and gymnasium, where it's now all overgrown.
Douglas Rhodes is the executive director of the Southern Forest Heritage Museum, which preserves exhibits about the camp's role during the war.
They completed all of their physical fitness, basic infantry, all of those tactics were done here at Camp Claiborne.
The picture you see here is from a visit by Sergeant Dick York, the most decorated veteran of World War I, who came to the camp to address his former unit, the 82nd Infantry Division. It's hard to see it, but thousands upon thousands of soldiers were lined up right here, where now there's only woods.
So he came here to kind of give a pep talk to the troops. And of course, you had the governor of Louisiana there at the time, and Omar Bradley, the commander of the division.
Louisiana agriculture also played another role in World War II. The straight, longleaf pine trees were perfect for the keels of the Higgins boats, which brought the infantry that trained at Camp Claiborne ashore in Normandy. This is the old mill where those trees were processed.
They needed long, straight timbers for the keels of the landing craft. And so they put in an order with the Southern Forest Heritage Museum, and they furnished the keels for the boats that were being built in New Orleans, the landing craft that were being built in New Orleans.
Camp Claiborne was originally part of the U.S. Forest Service before itself being recruited in 1940. In fact, U.S. Forest Service firefighters trained Army paratroopers because of their experience in getting into remote areas to stop wildfires. Claiborne was returned to the U.S. Forest Service in 1945, and their battle to stop those wildfires continues to this day.
Part of that is the longleaf pine restoration effort. And so we've been doing that for several years, and part of that maintenance is doing prescribed burn. On our district, we burn about 50,000 acres a year. And so incorporated inside that, though, is a wildfire aspect. So when we're doing prescribed burns, some areas we may not get to, or during certain parts of the year, you have a tendency for wildfires to get out. So through a combination of prescribed burning and then trying to control wildfires, that's how we manage some of this land. In addition to things like cutting timber and just doing different ecosystem restoration efforts.
Now, while there's not much left of Camp Claiborne, there is a lot at the Southern Forest Heritage Museum nearby. Not only do they have a lot on Camp Claiborne and D-Day, but also on the birth of modern forestry, including a full working sawmill and old train engines. And Avery, this was it was the most fun for me to do this shoot. I mean, there were so many interests there, and I got a lot walking around the grounds of that museum, which is huge, by the way. I mean, an entire working sawmill it's not in operation anymore, but the grounds, all the equipment's still there. Some of those old engines are really just pieces of history. I mean, each one of them could be a museum piece by themselves. But standing there in that place, looking out at where 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 soldiers were assembled and where Patton spoke and all of these great history, and there's nothing but woods there.
It's amazing. But I know this kind of built into all your geekiness when it comes to history and that sort of thing, but that book you brought back was amazing as well.
Yeah, that was courtesy of one of the guys there, Douglas, who led me around, and he's one of the docents there at the museum. He also co-authored this book through USDA, and it's all about that history. Please, if you can, go to that museum and patronize them. It's just a wonderful exhibit there.
Well, I'm glad you gave us a taste of it. Thank you so much, Neil Melancon. Agriculture is hard work. Every week, we show you the effort farmers and ranchers put into keeping us all fed, clothed, and sheltered. But I'm pretty sure there was a line in the Stanley Kubrick classic film The Shining about all work and no play. That's why we're bringing you the fun parts of the Louisiana Farm Bureau trip to Santa Barbara back in March.
Delicious. Oh. Oh, you learned it. I'm stirring the pot. I'm stirring the pot. You're hired. I'm hired. I'll fly back. All right. These are tiny trees.
Dumpster diving. Apparently they didn't make the cut. They were the wallflowers. Yes.
Stand over there, I'll take a picture.
Bring me flowers anymore.
Go for it, Meg.
Wow!
How was that, Robert?
Delicious.
Let me try that. Don't put that on camera.
You like Pinot Noir?
I do.
Right here, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We're getting the band back together for the 100th year, you know?
Wait.
We do know how to pass a good time everywhere we go, and if it wasn't obvious from the video, she did say yes. If you would like to see more of the stories we did in Santa Barbara, check out our YouTube channel where we've set up a full playlist from that trip. Louisiana sweet potatoes are available now and make a wonderfully festive holiday treat. And when you put Louisiana sweet potatoes into the hands of Chef Troy Bijou from Cafe Josephine in Sunset, Louisiana, you are in for a magical treat. You may recall we visited Cafe Josephine earlier this year, but we didn't have time to share with you one of the best creations Chef Troy made for us, duck and tasso empanadas with sweet potatoes. It's what we're making in this edition of Feasting on Agriculture.
Feasting on Agriculture with Kristen Oaks White is brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.
Let's go ahead and do our next dish. This is sweet potato empanadas, correct?
Yes, it is.
What do we have here?
So right in here, I have some tasso, which I make myself. And we have some Peking duck breast, which I've smoked and cubed. And I'm gonna add the sweet potatoes to it, and we're gonna put it in a pie crust, and we're gonna deep fry it. And it's gonna be wonderful.
Anything deep fried with
Anything
sweet potatoes
deep fries
is gonna be wonderful.
Exactly.
And this is the same mashed up sweet potatoes
Yes.
that you baked yourself.
Yes, consistent. Use the same batch. So we're just gonna mix this together. Ooh, you smell that sweet potato?
Oh, I smell the sweet potato. I smell the
once it
duck.
hit the heat.
I smell that tasso too.
Yeah.
I love
Kind
me
of
some tasso.
sweet and savory, and yeah, we smoke and do all our own here, which gives us a genuine flavor that we can't get from everybody else.
Well, it's what you said earlier. Local,
Yep.
keeping everything
That's
local.
it. Just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper.
Okay. Now here you're bringing out that savory side of the sweet potato that we talked about.
That's right. No sugar.
But it's still going to provide that natural sweetness. Oh, my gosh, that's coming together so well.
Yes. Okay.
So once that's done, put it in the pie crust there.
That's it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold this over.
Okay.
Trying not to get the sweet potato filling
on the outside.
On the outside.
Okay, so
which is quite difficult sometimes, but you're doing a fabulous job.
Do it like that.
Just like that.
Okay.
And then we're gonna mash, mash, mash the edges. Keep the filling in the middle. Now you've seen it twice. I'm gonna let you do this.
You're gonna let me do the last one?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna let me mess up the last one?
Oh, well, that's why I did 3 in case you messed up one of them.
I'm also gonna note that he's given me the one with the most filling to try and do. So let's see.
I didn't set him up.
Mash, mash. Hulk smash.
That's it.
There we go. I think
Okay.
I may have actually made my first empanada.
You did it great. Definitely.
Flattery will get you everywhere, Troy.
Yeah,
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Now we just have to seal the edges.
Okay.
So when it goes in the fryer, it doesn't ooze out and make a mess in my fryer.
So why did you decide to open Josephine?
Well, I did wood floors for 20 years and had a successful career. And my knees are shot. And God said, get off your knees. Come on, let's go do something else. And you know, it's not just about opening Josephine's and serving food. We employ 38 people here. And sometimes it's about being that father figure that they didn't get when they were small.
Yeah.
Or to guide them through the day to do the right things. Like, don't put your personal business on Facebook. You don't need to do that, okay? Everybody don't need to know that. So as long as you do your job, I can be your father figure, your friend, whatever you want to be. So, you know, he didn't just send me here to cook and serve people. He sent me here to take care of people.
And that's what you do every day at a
Every
restaurant.
day.
Because families come in here and nothing brings families together like food.
Like food. It's our culture. It's how we gather. It's how we party. It's how we mourn. It's our whole culture here in Louisiana. And, you know, there's 500 restaurants in the Lafayette area, and a lot of people choose to eat at Josephine. So that just tells me that my staff and I and my wife do the right thing.
Oh, I'm glad you're doing the right thing. What are we doing right here, right now with these empanadas?
Well, we've done the hard part. We got them made and we got them filled. And now we're gonna take them back to the fryer and fry them crispy and golden brown, and then we're gonna serve them up and everybody will be able to taste.
That sounds great.
A little bit of blackberry glaze.
Again, because of time, you're not going to see me stuffing my face with those amazing sweet potato empanadas, but I still think about the savory tasso and the succulent duck and how it played so well off the sweetness of those Louisiana sweet potatoes. I would like to thank the Louisiana Sweet Potato Commission for making that visit possible. Between the sweet potato puffs and the sweet potato biscuits and the sweet potato empanadas, I could barely move after shooting that episode of Feasting on Agriculture.
Feasting on Agriculture with Kristen Oakes White was brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, Louisiana Crawfish, ask before you eat, and by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, Beef, it's what's for dinner, and by the Louisiana Rice Promotion Board, think rice.
Random fact, if ever you're on Ag Jeopardy. Each episode of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture runs 28 minutes 30 seconds. There are 2 commercial breaks which run for 2 minutes each, which means we have 24 minutes 30 seconds of content for you to enjoy each week. Now that does not mean that we are only on this set for 24 minutes 30 seconds. We actually are here quite a bit longer, usually singing, dancing, or just messing up. To finish our show, we like to bring you an uplifting story that we call the TWILA Boost. And usually when we do the TWILA Boost, someone is advancing the prompter so that I know what I'm supposed to be saying. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Shut up, Karl. Stop talking.
I'm just not able to speak today. I'm giving it up.
You want me to take it from the top?
Start spreading the news.
Herbicides. Herbicides.
Herbicides.
What? Is that wrong? Diesel.
This girl is on fire.
Oh, wow, you lost it there.
5 extra points to anyone who can name that band. Baby, come back.
I'll get there. Give me 2 seconds.
Here we are, born to be kings.
This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do.
That's why TWILA's Kristen Oakes White. I'm doing it again. Kristen. I can't say TWILA and Kristen.
From the men's team. I had it that time. That was my time.
Come on! We burning daylight right here. Yeah. You gotta get closer than that. Damn, they that big? I'll see better.
Get it out. Laugh it up, Fuzzball. Is the show okra? Instead of ova?
That's a stretch.
I hope that gave you a good laugh at our expense. It's our Christmas gift to you. Speaking of Christmas, this will be our penultimate show of the year. Next week, we'll bring you an episode celebrating 100 years of Louisiana Farm Bureau. But what I want to remind you about for the holiday season is the hard work farmers and ranchers do every day for us. We have food because of farmers and ranchers. We have clothes because of farmers and ranchers. We have wooden homes and furniture because of men and women who tend to the land, manage their stands of timber, and ensure a new stand is planted. It's been a tough year for agriculture with weather woes, inflation issues, and a Mississippi River that's too low for shipping. But Louisiana's farmers and ranchers are going to tough it out. They are the ultimate optimists, finding hope in every seed they put in the ground and every animal born. We all should find inspiration in that hope as we prepare for the new year. With that, I would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Herza Kwanzaa, and may you have a prosperous New Year. For all of us here at TWILA, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.